Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. So then, what shall we speak about? I always ask this question as if there is some real option. Oh, some kitties are there in Satsang. Hello. Hello.
Okay. Hi. I'm flying together. So this one is Terry. This one.
Hey?
Terry.
Terry. Huh?
Terry.
Nah. So one is Cherry, the other one is Blossom.
These are the twins.
The one who screamed is Berry. I call her Waguba.
Radha is asking if they're twins or.
Yes. They are twins.
Jev.
No, they're twins, and because they're seeing themselves in the camera, so they're like, that is Cherry, that is Berry. So one is Cherry, one is Berry, and the one who screams the most is, I call her Waguba. So she's very excited.
Waguba is a tiger or a lion. One of the two.
Wag is leopard.
Tiger. I think so.
In Marathi.
What, tiger or leopard? Now this is the main important point.
No, it's tiger, not leopard.
Tiger.
Leopard comes in the same, no? Wag.
No, tiger. Wag is tiger.
No, in Marathi, tiger is Wag.
The common word is bhag.
Bhag.
Yeah.
You see the Wag and you go Bhag. You see, but Papaji used to say, once you meet the tiger on your path, then your mind stops.
Do we get realization then?
You want to try that experiment? When I get a national park?
When Berry screams, the whole building stops. When she was just 4 months old and she would scream, all the neighbors would worry. What is wrong? Are their parents torturing her or something?
Oh. So she's good satsang for all the neighbors. Actually, sometimes we call satsang the process of going from the head to the heart. But also we can say that it is a process of going from the head, your mental interpretation, to your own recognition, to your own insight. Because even what the mind is saying starts to feel like second-hand knowledge. So don't be frustrated. I get a lot of messages where someone will say, but I'm not recognizing myself as this awareness. I don't know who I am. You see? So don't be scared of this I don't know. Because when you get scared of this I don't know, again you will rush to some other concepts. Okay, I'm going to leave that old concept that I am a person, but I will pick up another new concept, but I am this. So now this I will try to prove both to myself and to everyone around me that this one is a valid concept now. Okay? And that doesn't work. So again, then we look for the next change. You see? Then suffering doesn't stop because of any concept that we might pick up. You see? Then we go through the whole journey again. But this insight, because you don't find something phenomenal there, you see, then it is very difficult to make a concept out of it. And the mind can come and say, you still don't know who you are. And we have been conditioned to believe that this I don't know is bad news. Actually, for me, this I don't know is the best news. Many write to me and say, when I do the self inquiry, I look and I don't find anything. I don't know who I am. This is very good. Better than maybe if you were to say, I am the self, I found it. Better sometimes. This I don't know is very good because we are letting go of this inferential knowledge or some interpretation of what is found and remain in the silence of our true insight. Usually, not we can't make a generalization out of this, but usually it is found that those who start the self-inquiry and get a bit scared of this I don't know, when they pick up a concept, I am the self, I am awareness, or I am nothing, you see, then you will find that they want to speak about it a lot. They want to share about it. They want to share. Because they have their own self-doubt, which wants to be camouflaged under this so-called aura of certainty. I found it, I saw it, I'm it. But in the true recognition, is there some special thing about that? You see, there is nothing special, nothing really to proclaim also. So, in this way, this silence is very useful. We are not replacing a set of concepts. Some of you are from different sanghas, different masters, you see, and you picked up a set of concepts there. So we're not going to replace those old concepts with new concepts. You see, we're not saying, okay, we are going from X concepts to now Guruji's concepts or Ananta's concept. The point is to come to this silence, which is non-conceptual. And silence does not mean, oh, we're not speaking words. Words can still flow. Silence is the absence of egoic belief. So if you're truly hearing my words, what I'm pointing you to is way beyond the one that had a journey, way beyond all that you can think of yourself to be. You see? So rest in this not knowing. It is a very restful place. I don't know who I am. It's beautiful. It is open. If you switch from one conceptual knowing to another conceptual knowing, again, it's the same guy. Guruji says the same guy, but in different disguises. You see? So we don't have to worry about whether I have the right concept. And if you feel that you are not coming to the recognition in your inquiry, you see, that is what I'm happy to do together. This is what we do every day. It is just that our expectation of what we will recognize, we feel that we will come to the self as if the self is also some object. You see? Whatever object is being cognized, who is aware of that? What is aware of that? What is the one that witnesses all things? One that is aware of all the states, the waking state, the dream state, the dreamless sleep state. Is that an object in these states? How are you so sure about this? How are you so sure that you are this body? How are you so sure that you are the owner of just this body? How do you know that you are not the light of this entire universe? Just because this mind tells you? Is it not worthwhile to question this mind a little bit? Listening to the mind, what have you got? Fear about death? Fear of the next moment? Fear of the future? Idea that you have a start and end? The idea that you were born, you will die? All these have been the gifts from the mind. The idea that you did something wrong, the idea that you can do something right. How long you want to play with these concepts? And you're free too, you see, as long as you like. But notice a discrepancy if what you're claiming is that I'm done with these concepts. If you feel that you're done with these concepts, then notice that actually they have no power over you. Are you really done with the play of this name and form? Somebody said the other day, very nice, Krishna, if I'm not mistaken, said, Father, it is, when we say person, it seems to generalize it a bit. But when I ask myself, am I done with the play of Jash? Or am I done with the play of Krishna? You see? Then it becomes really, the question becomes really clear. You see? Because just like the ego, which becomes like a very generalized concept, and most people in the world actually believe that they are not egoistic. You talk to people generally on the road or something, you feel like you're egoistic? No, no, I'm not egoistic. My partner should meet them. You see, they are really proud or something, because ego has been confused to be this sense of arrogance or pride. Then we ask them, but you consider yourself a person? Of course, I'm a good person. Like that. So then, like that, ego seems to generalize a concept. Then even this person idea, because we use it every day in satsang, then we can say, okay, that is just the person. The person comes. See, I'm done with the person. And sometimes it's good to put that name in the box which you identify with the most and say, are you done with that one? If there was a book, a story of this one, a novel was being written, and then the novel had this very tame end. You came to satsang today and nothing happened, but you gave up on writing the novel. Are you okay with that ending? Just mid-sentence it stopped. I came to Satsang, it started off very nice, bhajan was there, Aarti was there, and doom, finished. Pen is dropped. You see? Are you still wondering what is going to happen to this one that you consider yourself to be? Where is the halo? Where are the followers? What satsang will emerge from your mouth? This brings our belief system into very close focus. If this moment was the end of all stories you had about that name, would you be okay with that? Not to be seen as anything special, not to also be seen as anything terrible. Neither got it nor didn't get it. And I'm pointing you to your notionless existence. Are you still waiting for a notion about yourself? Are you still waiting for that? Yes, I got it. Or why don't I get it? It is neither, you see. It is still a case of the mistaken identity, the I. There is no individual anywhere. It is not even your experience. It is only one voice. It is just another sensation in your being, which is programmed to convince you of your limited self. Everything else is as it is. Even this ultimately is as it is, because this is the way consciousness is playing with itself. If there were no more pages in your story, you're good? Yeah.
To this question,
That's a lot.
whether I am done with the play or not. When I check, I'm not there.
Yes.
It's not my choice.
Yes.
I'm done or not.
Yes.
That I is not there.
Yes. This is a good point. So the way to check this is when the offer comes for the next scene. Yeah? The offer comes for your next position, for your next character that you're going to play in the scene. When the offer comes, what is your response to this offer?
In the play, it is like that. When it is going good, then it's very easy to
When things are
not
going well, it
identify.
is easy to.
Not identify. But when
Sometimes the
suffering
reverse
comes,
also. Sometimes the reverse also.
anytime I check, it's not there.
Yes. This is good. So, it is not there. Who is checking?
Consciousness.
Consciousness is checking. So, who is done with the play or not?
The one who asks the question doesn't have a choice. It's not there.
It is, the question is whether consciousness itself is done with the play or not. Because the power of belief in the play, the power of belief in the story, belongs only to this consciousness. It is nothing but the self, but in its dynamic movement, its dynamic aspect.
To whom we can't say, we can't have, can't ask it to be done or not done.
Yes. It is just In the response to the invitation to play, what happens signifies whether we are done with the play or not. So, if the offer came, you do this thing for the next 300 days and you will be an enlightened person. Will you take that offer? Because you know that there is no such thing as an enlightened person. What you are already is more than complete, is all there is. You see? What is the struggle actually? If in satsang there is a struggle, what is the struggle? I am saying you are all there is. Huh? You are God. You are complete. You are full. You see? No, but I am something limited and I want to be God. Or I am not getting to God. Or I am God but in a personal way. You see? And I'm saying, why you have to do all that? But you are God. Isn't it? Huh? Doesn't believe that. But the good thing is that here, what I am saying doesn't have to be believed. What the mind is saying has to be believed. What I am saying just can be checked. Is there anything outside of you? Unless you create first a mental boundary about where you are or what you are, show me what is outside you. And what is God? The truth can be checked. The false is a presumption. That a sensation which is the body, and many bodies we experience, you see, but the sensation which is the body actually defines the boundary for me is just an interpretation. It is not the truth. It is experienced as a sensation. And in the experience itself, it is clear that I contain the sensation. The sensation doesn't contain me. This is your direct experience. I can't even translate it in precise words. But your mind will come and say, see, this sensation is there. No? This is your limit. This is your boundary. Without that, you're a baby. You don't have this concept.
Is there something called a new way of looking?
A new way of looking.
Because right now, every experience which I have, when I say that I'm not there, it's a different way of dealing.
It can seem like it's a new way of looking, but actually, what has happened is that in our prior way, when the looking was happening, when the perceiving was happening, it was constantly accompanied by this concept: what's in it for me? You see? So when you're like, should I pay attention to this conversation? Oh, is there something in this for you? Are you learning something? Now you get like that. You see? What are you watching? Is it based on that? Where are you going? What am I getting? So it was constantly in the Maha Mantra of the ego, which is what's in it for me. Now that is being dropped away. To drop it away, for some time you might be using the opposite concept to neutralize the first concept, which is that there is no me here, or I am not this.
It's not a concept, it is
But ultimately you will see that even that is a concept. And you don't need that concept, there is no me, to live your life in a new way, to see things in a new way. And you are empty of any notion. What is here? And yet you are hearing these words. You see? There is no individual person on which these words are landing. In your naturalness, this is your truth. You don't need to, if it feels helpful for a while, we can.
Yes.
That's why even in satsang, we can tell you the opposite. So one day I'll say that you are not the doer at all. And one day I'll tell you, just do the inquiry, you can do it. You see? Why? Because I want you to drop both concepts of doership and non-doership. The point is to come to this neutrality.
Right now, how is it playing in?
Yeah.
Normally, it is fine when the play is okay. Suddenly, when the noise becomes loud or troublesome, at the time spontaneously that comes.
Yes.
That who is it talking to?
Firstly, know that there is nothing to fix. Huh? Because otherwise you will give birth to this checker guy who will say, okay, when I do this, when I use this concept, then this happens to me. When I do this concept, then the me itself disappears. You see, so the I can be invented in this way also. The benchmarking report card guy was constantly in this, okay, so then how do I get to peace? But right now I am in peace.
It's effortless.
Effortless.
Even if there is that inquiry happening, so all these situations don't apply to me.
Yes.
There's no effort in that.
Yes. So then we go from inference to insight. So that is the voice of your intuitive presence, where your what was just conceptual, now you're seeing that I have no boundary. There is no limitation. This is the voice of your intuition, the Sadguru, the divine presence in your heart. And this intuitive presence can be trusted. If there is still some confusion about whether it is mind posing as intuition, then forget about it. The intuition is not in a rush. You will see that the qualitative difference between the mental thought and your intuitive voice will be so clear that this intuitive voice does not want me to take a position, is accompanied by so much spaciousness, is in no rush. It is accompanied by the prasad of peace, contentment. When you find that there is love there, then know that it cannot be the ego. So,
Whenever the voice is ignored,
why is it? Yes.
there is automatically dropping of it. Only then the voice says, see how repetitive it is, how much it has been conditioned in the past.
So for some time, don't even make any conclusion about yourself or about the mind also. Huh? Possible? Is it? No conclusion about yourself and no conclusion about the quality of the voice, what it is trying to do. It is just a cloud in the sky. It's coming, going. We are not checking whether it's grey, dark grey, black, whether it's white. We're not checking on the quality of it at all. Because that can become a new habit that we pick up. Just it is coming and going. It is nothing to me. I am not attacked by it. I am not attached to it.
It's not harmful when seeing that it's not true. It comes up like that. It has been nurtured so much. And
So
it is
you try for a few days. Allow me to make the conclusions. You don't make any conclusion about anything. You good with that?
Yes. There's even while coming here and at home also, I was seeing that it has been the habit has been so much
Yes, natural.
in almost in a minute, every minute I behave like a.
So you let all of this be my problem now. Whether it has been nurtured, conditioned, whether it is easy, it is difficult, whether it is whatever. Is it? Otherwise, this reporter guy, this checker guy, will take everything that you hear, even in satsang, and make a new task for you to do or to check on. Create another row in your report card and say, this is what is happening. As you are empty of even this task,
Spontaneously it can come.
yes. But even this can come and it can go. As it comes spontaneously, it goes spontaneously. Huh?
But that effortless effort has to be done.
Nothing.
When it comes.
Effortless effort is nothing.
When I catch myself listening to the voice at that time, I can see that it is not true.
Just the noticing of it is the dropping of it.
Yes.
You see, you don't have to notice and drop. And the notice, when you say,
Yes.
when I catch myself listening to the voice, that itself is the dropping of it.
And the subsequent interpretation need not be that it is
Yes,
habit, strong
exactly.
habit.
Exactly. You don't make any conclusion about it. Because we are emptying out all places, all concepts where you can make a conclusion about yourself and rest on that. I am this way now. Now I'm dropping more or I'm picking up less. You see, you can't make any of these conclusions, and no interpretation about yourself is valid. Because actually, we don't know any of this. We don't really know whether there was a past at all. You see? We don't know whether you actually came here on a bike or a car at all. Just like in a dream, you land in a dream. It could be the first dream moment you're experiencing. But does it feel like you start every dream with amnesia? You just recognize the people around you. If someone is to ask you, how did you get here? If this was the first moment of your dream, and I said, how did you get here? Say, yes, Father, I came in the bike. It's completely possible for us to have this interaction in that which is the same as this, which we call the dream state also. So we don't know anything about the past. And this one we'll readily admit to, we don't know what the future is going to be like. So better not to have any conclusion even about what happened. Was that you who came on the bike?
I'm not there.
Exactly. You see? So we are making a conclusion about some other one. This is the thing. We don't even have to do all this exercise when you see that you are empty of all conclusions just now. And I'm here to hold your hand through this period of wobbliness. Like without a concept, how can I survive? What will happen to my life? The fear of death, the fear of the unknown. In many ways, it comes like this. And our motivation to jump to these concepts. Oh, I did understand something. I want to hug that and stay with that. You see, whatever knowledge I picked up. You see, then there's also a reaction to that fear itself. But very few will tell you in this world that I'm not teaching you anything actually. All the words that are being used here just so that you can empty your conceptual baggage. You're not to make a new religion out of this. Empty yourself of all conceptual baggage. If it is shaky, and if you feel like you need to hold someone's hand, come and hold my hand. If you want to hold my hand physically, hold my hand physically. If you want to hold my hand in your heart, hold it there. You see, it is there. But I'm here to tell you that if you go through this wobbliness for a little bit, and as you start to get used to it, nothing can shake you then.
It's freeing actually.
It's freeing.
You are not there.
Completely freeing. But all this conclusion also is mine now. For a few days, you are not to make any conclusion about anything at all. You see, it is because I can recognize when a checker guy is taking births. So you have to trust me on this and say, Father said, I don't know whether it's freeing or bonding. None of my business.
There is a relief, I can't deny that. Appearance of
Yes,
relief.
taste it. taste it, but don't label it as even really. Whatever is being, so spaciousness is coming. Like that. But to interpret it and to put it in your report card is not required. Spaciousness will come. Let that be. What is happening with you? Let it not be the concern of your mind anymore.
That is its favorite job.
That is
Only job.
even all of this. See, now remain empty of any conclusion. Not even about what his job is or whether there's undeniable relief or nothing. This is what I found at my father's feet. This is what I'm showing. When this openness is not the best word for it, but when this openness was discovered, it did not come with the conclusion that, oh, I'm so open right now. Or not even the sense that, oh, there's so much space here. Not even this idea. Just, yes.
I have a question regarding the fact that it's so ordinary.
Yeah.
It's just so
Yeah.
ordinary.
Yeah.
And it feels so much struggle just to come to this extremely
Yeah.
ordinary thing.
This,
And it's always going to be very, very ordinary.
yes. But suppose you did not know ordinary.
It does not follow, it does not allow any other expression. And if authentically that has to be held, it is only very ordinary. Any other thing we can hold, but it's not that.
Yes, but does it really even, although I say this also very often, that it's so regular, it's very ordinary. But let's really get into it now. That which you're finding yourself to be, can you apply any label to it? With full intelligence, you just check into it.
No, but if I have to apply a
If you have to, yes.
then it's
Yes.
it's only ordinary. Otherwise, even that is an ordinary. To
Well,
want to just say anything at all.
Okay,
It's
let's
just
even explore this.
because it's just when I open my mouth, the duality is gone.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so suppose I was to say that it's completely extraordinary. Yeah? Let me also try to be the lawyer for the extraordinary for some time and see if I can sell it to you. It is, but it cannot be seen. It is, but it has no attribute, no quality. It is, without all this light and sound, and yet it is the witness of all things. It is no thing, and yet all intelligence arises from it. It is no thing, And yet, without it, no things are ever perceived. The extraordinary thing. What an extraordinary no thing. So in that way,
You can sell it by saying natural and organic.
natural.
Natural.
But I'm saying that actually, because it is completely empty of quality, we can say on one hand it is completely ordinary, like you said. But on the same time, you can say it is so extraordinary. That's why I was saying that actually,
No cause and effect is
no
holding.
cause and effect.
And no
Yes.
resolution of anything
Yes.
is
Yes.
even considered or
Yes.
promised or
Yes.
nothing of that sort.
Yes.
So it's just like standalone.
Yes. Because in expecting resolution, we are then
Again,
posing again as a limited identity. You see? And we are not, the screen is not what we are complaining as, or the witness of the screen is not what we are complaining. Why this movie has to be so? The screen is not complaining about the quality of the movie and what happens in it. We first have to pick up the perspective of the one of the characters in the movie, and then we can say, "But I found that I am the screen, but why is my life not changing?" You see, that is the thing. So in that, first you have to pick up the mask of the individual, and then that lack of resolution is there. You see?
because that one will always move towards a better scene and a better, the better next scene. It's programmed in that. Given
Yeah.
any choice, though it may not make any difference, but the natural tendency is to move towards a better scene.
If you see this, then you'll also see that the better scene is not necessarily always compliant with the mind's idea of better. You see? But you will find that one day when the just innocent objectivity is there, you will find that no matter what was given to me or taken away, even phenomenally, as the character in the movie, you will have this report one day and you will say, and it could be today actually, you say that no matter what was given to me, no matter what was taken away, no matter what mistakes I made and what mistakes others made in my life, in this life I've had the blessing of coming to Bhagwan's feet, and nothing is worth more than that. So, what can I hold in my heart except gratitude for this grace? So, even the play of the character in the movie comes to this beautiful thankfulness. And then, you know, at the end of the play, what happens? Everybody, even the villain in the play, even all the protagonists, all the ones who were loggerheads, then they join hands and they take a bow together. It's like when you have gratitude for all the co-actors and the seeming co-actors in this play, you realize that at the end you come to this one and you see that you're grateful for your own aspects for seemingly doing all this to you and putting you in all this suffering and misery. You see, and I can say this with full confidence about the play of Vedika because even before you came to this satsang, you have been at Bhagwan's feet. You see? So what is there? There's some questions in the chat. Oh, thank you. Shweta says, Ananta, Guruji, you said exactly the same thing. What I observed in almost everyone, including myself, in the past, that we drop one set of concepts and pick up another set of concepts, the so-called spiritual concepts. I'm so loving this process of shedding of everything that I believe to be true. Very good. Anil says, not done with the play of name and form, want to play more. Then someone says, I also observe that the solution to all the issues, questions is that we become the person again. I'm loving this process of self-awareness, coming to awareness every now and then, since we get lost in the play most of the time. Yes. Sometimes I see that this seeing also happens from two places. I'm not sure if this is my imagination or true. This is what I want to check with you. Sometimes I am away from the place of the witness, being the subject, and phenomena being the object. But sometimes it feels like the awareness is itself being observed. Yes. I am no more in the place. The awareness itself becomes like an object that is observed, that is observing the world, weird though that is. So what happens is that when this phenomenal state is here, that which we call the waking state, then there's a power which is available here, which is like a distant cousin of awareness, which is called attention. It's a cousin because it is quite similar. It does not have a color, it does not have a shape, it does not have a size. So when attention moves, so suppose it moves from here to here to here to here, then it seems like different objects come to life. And as our attention is with something, it can feel like I went there. You see, I went to my thought. I went into imagination. I was daydreaming. I was with this person. You see, I was in satsang. You see? So basically, it is so intimate that we confuse it with I very often. You see? So this is what we are talking about. One is this attention, which is the power of phenomenal perceiving, that which brings phenomenal objects to life. And it is so intimate to the self that it can seem like it is I. So this is perceiving. If you were to check, okay, where is this attention reporting back to? Then you will find that it is reporting to the self. This is unchanging. Whether attention went on this, whether attention went on this, whether attention came to even the presence. Where is the content of what this attention is bringing? Where is it being delivered? Who is attention reporting to? Then you will find that it is just the self. You see? And this self is always aware of the movement of attention. Sometimes we get caught up in the content of the attention and we feel like we are there. So that is one, like perceiving. We feel like I am the content of what I am perceiving. And sometimes there's this clear seeing that, whatever this attention might be bringing to me, it is only I am just the self. You see? So when we are identified with the content of our attention, it can feel like we are an object. When we see that I am empty of all limitation, empty of all boundary, empty of any physical attribute. I cannot make a picture of myself. So this is your non-phenomenal, non-experience experience of the self. If you feel that there is an object which you're finding, which is awareness itself, you see, then find out what is aware of that. Find out what is aware of that. And you will see that that which is aware of any object, ultimately itself is not an object. And yet it is you. This is the beauty of Satsang. When you see that you are not an object, and yet you are. This is the most ordinary and the most extraordinary discovery that you will make. Ordinary because it has always been this. There is nothing special in this. And extraordinary because you wonder how you ever considered yourself to be an object, that which is beyond all states, beyond all gunas, beyond all attributes, qualities, beyond any label that you can put onto yourself. This is what you're discovering yourself to be. In this most straightforward, direct manner, with no rush, with no feeling that I have to get it now or something like that. All these can come and go. But as you are coming to satsang, you're finding that what is being pointed to is just so obvious in its truth. Yet for the mind, it's completely unfathomable. And it is this dropping of the mind which can seem a bit wobbly. Dropping all conclusions from the mind can seem a bit wobbly. We're going from old position to new position. Now all positions are being discarded, empty of any reference point about yourself. You see? Because nobody will be there to own this discovery that you are awareness. Nobody will be there. The mind will come and say, yes, yes, I saw it. You see? No. But that one that whose voice this is not you. You see? So you will find that Shanti beyond any concept of Shanti you will find. Peace beyond any peace which can be worldly. Joy beyond any concept of joy. Beyond any objective joy. Beyond even the joy of your holy presence. The joy of the truth. Positionless, notionless existence, where all rights and wrongs have been dropped. Because none of them apply to you. All has been part of God's play.
Ananta-ji, what is the maximum wobbly period?
Maximum wobbly.
How long can one wobble?
It is indefinite. You can wobble for a long time.
What is that long?
Many lifetimes. You can wobble for many lifetimes. There's nothing. Time is nothing for consciousness. It chooses to play as the wobbly one. But usually, if there is an admittance of the wobbliness, it is
Act
shorter.
of will, can it be stopped? One say, I will not wobble anymore.
That is when it increases. You see, usually, it is found that when this notion comes, then I can get myself out of this wobbliness. You see, then that is how you prolong it. See? When it is, oh, wobbliness. What's it to me? Or if the attitude is that of surrender, it's like, oh, Bhagwan's created this wobbliness. He must be wobbling and he will sort it out. Then can't prolong it. But if the I comes in, the I can solve it. Then that is a way of prolonging it actually. But the mind itself takes it on and says, "Oh, wobbliness, I'll fix it." So either in the surrender or in the inquiry, you find that I am not wobbling. It's just a wobbliness which is happening. Therefore, I don't have to do anything about it. Then you see that it cannot really prolong. Because like with anything else phenomenal, it is based on whether we are believing a mental interpretation of it, which can then take a position there. Yeah, I will do it. And very soon, I know. Like that. And then again, do that is what is happening in all our lives. You really see there are moments of full like, I will do. And then they're like, no, I can't do it. Help me. So that is, in fact, that is the like a outward manifestation of this inner wobbliness. Once we see that, whether the color of the cloud is grey or white, I am the sky unaffected by it. Nothing to do with
Ultimately, it
vibration.
boils down to preference, no nothing. Just a very strong playing out of preference.
Ultimately, it is that. Ultimately, it only boils down to the will of consciousness. If it wants to play as the wobbly one, play as the wobbly one. So there is no distinction between when we say grace of the master and the play of consciousness, actually, because that is basically the Guru's will or God's will is what is going to play out. So if it wants to play as a limited entity fighting this wobbliness personally, to play as that. But the funny thing is that in the play, upon hearing this, usually some space can come. That is also part of the design of the play. The Guru's grace or the seeming undeserved blessings that we get in the presence of the Master is also part of the overall design of grace itself. Nothing is outside of that. And yet it is a beautiful part of the design.
Yeah, where he slips in that this is just consciousness.
Yes.
This is just a
Exactly.
play. So it may seem very serious and it feels like you don't have any words, still it's a play. That really is a
Exactly.
space.
Yes. So then the play gets a different quality, a different beauty. It's a play nevertheless, but the play which is unaccompanied by the idea that this is a personal play and it moves to this seeing that actually this is just a play of consciousness. Being is playing with light and sound. Being is playing with all these gunas and qualities. Being is playing with all of these states of waking and dream and sleep. Then when you experience the world unaccompanied by this constant what's in it for me, what's in it for me notion, you see that I was playing it as if I'm a person, and that was also part of God's play. Now I'm playing it without the personal baggage, without this heavy school bag. And it has a different lightness to it. And as long as consciousness wills for that play to continue, it will continue. When it wants to go to sleep, it will go to sleep. Being done with play and form has been done for me by a higher power. I am flying to India and don't even know why. Yes, this is a very beautiful sense of surrender that I don't know why. I'm just finding that I'm booking the tickets. I'm just finding that all this, you see. Now, what will happen is that this sense of me, which right now is identified with this body on which a higher force is seemingly acting, you see, this will also fade away. You will not be able to give any meanness to this body. You will find that oh, this light which is running this universe is also me. But my truest position is that which is aware of even this light. So this higher force, this consciousness, this God, for me ultimately is also another coming and going. It is myself. But it is the playful part of myself, that which wants to play with itself as if these qualities are real. So why I have to point this out to you is that many will get stuck in this perspective that I am just a small chair being moved around by God. Okay? And the problem with that perspective is that then the chair can also feel like the victim sometimes and say, why does God do this to me? Or it can pick up some arrogance and say, oh, I am God's special child. He always takes me to the best places. You see? So neither the victimhood nor the sense of specialness is found when you see that you are not the limited object which is moved around by a higher force. And yet you will find that in this world you will see that such auspiciousness, such grace is flowing in your life. You're finding that you're booking ticket to Tiruvannamalai. You're finding yourself in silent retreat without having planned it. A new way of life is unfolding, where life seems to be unfolding for itself. You see? It's very good. Yeah, Shweta wants to say something. She can say maybe. Can't hear you. Is your mic on? Is it working? No, I see your lips moving, but no words are coming through.
Is it audible
Now we can hear. Yes, yes, yes.
now? Okay. Like I was a little confused, as in, I'm not talking about objects. Like when I uh, open my eyes, of course I get lost in the play, and this being aware happens mostly with my thoughts. Like if I'm angry with someone, if I feel that someone has betrayed me, or I'm feeling as in like, I don't know, someone has done something wrong to me. So when I'm aware of those thoughts, like I feel that okay, this person has come back who's taking everything personally. Um, like I'm in many places. Sometimes, I feel like elating myself. Like, okay, I've got this concept now. So then I feel that okay, the person is come back saying that I've got this concept now. So in many cases, like only when thoughts are concerned, I can see that I'm becoming aware that I'm taking the person to person. But sometimes it feels like those thoughts are also being looked at. Oh, sorry, witness is also being looked at. Not always. Uh, when I'm trying to
There
look
are
at,
two questions which I want to clarify. There's a couple of things. The audio is not very clear, so please correct me if I have not heard correctly.
okay,
See,
just
now,
I think I'll just put the mic on. I'll just put my speaker on. I forgot that it was not on the laptop. Sorry.
it's okay.
Mother, you have to mute.
No, not on mute. Actually, on the laptop, I do not put my earphones. I forgot to put my earphones here. Is it audible now, Guruji?
Yes, yes, it's
Is
very
it
audible
audible?
now. It's good.
Okay.
Yes,
I was
very
saying
audible.
that sometimes when I look at my
Yeah.
thoughts, I do catch the person coming up every now and then. But then sometimes it feels like even that thing that is aware of those particular thoughts is being looked at. So I'm not sure if there are two places of seeing, or I'm really not sure of anything. I'm just a little